we now move on to our next information item. This is the annual Student Achievement Report, 2016 SAT. Dr. Swift?
Thank you, Madam President and trustees. Trustees, as you know, we do a number of achievement reports throughout the year. We're so pleased this fall to be able to share our 2016 SAT data. As you know, we administered the SAT last April to more than 1,200 of our 11th grade students. This assessment, we really like this assessment for a number of reasons, and they're very simple. One is that this is a nationally normed assessment, so it's a great opportunity for our parents in Ann Arbor Public Schools in Michigan to compare student achievement across the country, and we're very excited about that piece. Also, it gives us the new SAT, gives us valuable information about how ready our students are to engage in college-level work in reading and achievement. We consider this assessment an important exit or outcome data on our pre-K through 12th grade system. It really shows how well we're doing. What excites me probably the most about this assessment is that by providing a college entrance assessment during the school day, free of charge, it is just a huge equity opportunity for so many of our students who would not otherwise be able to access a college entrance exam. And so we know we're getting first generation and first opportunity students through the door because we're able to do that. The new SAT, for those of you who took the SAT prior to this spring, I just want to remind everyone this is a new SAT. It has a different scoring range, and so we'll talk about that as we go. And it also is redesigned to better reflect the students' level of preparation for college material. So we are looking at this data as baseline data. So trustees, where normally you see 5 years or 10 years of data, tonight you're just going to see 2016 because we're in a whole new day in Michigan and in Ann Arbor Public Schools. Now, this does assess reading, writing, and math, as you would expect. And I would remind everyone that there are only 4 states in the country that require SAT assessment for all students. So when you look at a national average for SAT, or you look at an average in another state other than those 4, you would see only the students assessed who go on their own and pay the fee. So typically those are college track types of students. In these 4 states, we give this assessment to all students, and we're very excited about that opportunity. So let's take a look at how we did. As you are accustomed to, we first measure against our own progress. Here, we're very excited to see 4 of our high schools ranked in the top 20 of Michigan high schools. So very excited there, and you can see where our 4 high schools, Skyline, Huron, Community, and Pioneer, are. Let's look at how we do compared to the state. Our mean score, 1160, in the state right at 1,000. When you look at the SAT website, they will say to you that 1,000 is about average in the country. But remember, that average is on a group that is, for the most part, college track students. The next slide that we'll look at talks a little bit about a piece that trustees are very vigilant on, and that is it's not good enough just to say that we did well on the whole. We want to look at our student groups to see how we did in those student groups. So you can see along the bottom here, trustees, is the number of students in that group. because sometimes you look at the data and you're not sure if that represents 1,000 students or if it represents, for example, with our second language students, it represented 25 students. But you can see there that we have quite a lot of work to do, trustees. We set our challenges right out there, and you can see that there's a gap we want to attend to, a disparity in achievement with African American students, with Hispanic students, with economically disadvantaged students, with second language students, and with special needs students. So we have a lot of good work ahead of us, and I know that Ms. Dickinson Kelly and her team are already putting their plans in place to attend to that work now that we're in this new assessment. Let's move forward in terms of comparisons. Trustees, this was a piece that we added about a year and a half ago. We wanted to just keep an eye on boys and girls and look at that gender comparison. And we've done that with all of our achievement reports, as you recall. And you can see here that it looks like in this first year that our boys overall scored higher than our girls. So that's pretty interesting, where you can see at the state level they were really very similar. So isn't that interesting? Okay, let's move to the next step. Trustees, this is a new format, but it's data that you're accustomed to looking at. On the far left are our WISD charter and consortium schools, and we just took a line right at the Ann Arbor Public Schools all the way across. So you can kind of see how we compare on our WISD charter and consortium schools. Then here's our county-wide districts, the 8 other districts that share this county with us. Our high-performing districts, and you know, trustees, in the past we've taken just the top performing districts in the state, and we keep them there because we always want to keep an eye on that. And then here are, while no one in the state is really exactly like us, we are larger, we are more diverse than most everyone. These 4 districts, Farmington, Plymouth, Canton, South Lyon, Walled Lake, are the nearest to us. And you remember Ms. Landefeld and her team picked those districts for us about 2 years ago, and we've been using those as a benchmark. So this is how we're comparing when we look around the state at other districts. Now we're going to flip the side of the coin, trustees, from mean score to a college readiness percentage. And so what this does on the same test, same SAT, is it tells us how well prepared a student is. And the metric is, has the student scored to where they could enter a college classroom and be prepared to be successful? The score, for those of you who want to know what the metric is on it, is it means that you would get a 460 out of 800 on the reading and writing and a 510 out of 800 on the mathematics side. So let's take a look at the other side of the coin on the SAT, which is college readiness. Here it is, our comparison with the state. 64.6% of our students showing that they're prepared for college, as opposed to about 35% for the state. Now let's move on. In our comparison, there we are, trustees. The purple line is Ann Arbor Public Schools, and you can see right there again, we're noting our challenges and we're ready to dive in on this work, but we see disparities right away there with African American students, with Hispanic students, multi-ethnic, with economically disadvantaged, with second language, and with special needs. So we've got a lot of work to do there on our student groups. There's our gender comparison. Again, just like you saw in the mean score, our boys are scoring a little bit higher than our girls. That was also true at the state level. And here we are again with our other district look. On the far left, you can see college readiness, Ann Arbor Public Schools, and we drew a line across. County-wide districts, those are our other districts that share our county. The high-performing districts in the state, and our comparable districts on college readiness. I think you noticed overall that the college readiness score is a rigorous and high bar, and you can see that the scores show that. This, to me, is a very important piece that I wanted the trustees in our community to be aware of, is that our legislature would have the opportunity, as many states across the country have done, to have this meaningful college preparation assessment stand for the high school assessment. And so in doing that, it would be meaningful and not an exercise like we have seen, as Trustee Stead pointed out, that some of the state-level assessments are not easily comparable to really much of anything else. And so this is an opportunity, and trustees, we are advocating vigorously at the legislative level that happen. It is meaningful. Our high school students need to find meaning in this endeavor, or we will not get a good measure. And this is a meaningful endeavor for them, and the others are not so much. So I know that Ms. Dickinson-Kelly has sat on the state committee. I charge her to continue to raise her voice, and then she whispers in my ear so that I repeat that to our legislators on a regular basis. And then finally, I want to share, trustees, that we have every indication from our federal legislators that ESSA, our new requirement, that this would be totally acceptable. And other states are leading the charge. So we just hope that Michigan will fall in and do this as well. So thank you. Thank you for giving us that opportunity to speak to that.